It's the quality of life. Like, share, and subscribe. Hi everybody, we're back. So like I said, that cake took us about 15 to 20 minutes. And I mean, really, it will take about 20 minutes to make that cake. You need 25 minutes for it to bake. And while the cake is baking, what you do is you get into the shrimp and grits. It's a low country dish originating in South Carolina regions where there was a lot of seafood and shellfish. And it's just a simple dish, okay? We start off with, first of all, I'm starting off with some smoked pork, okay? Or you can use bacon. We would use slab bacon, okay? And what I'm gonna do is just saute the bacon for a bit, all right? And the reason why I start off with the bacon is because the oil that we render from the bacon is what we will brown our trinity in. And we talked about trinity with jambalaya. You see what it is that your usually your onion, your peppers, and your celery. I also add garlic. You can add some bay leaves. Ooh. Turning this down just a little bit. And what I do is, in the States, when you get bacon, any kind of bacon, is very interesting because you render so much oil from the bacon. But the slab bacon in a package that I get here in Germany in the grocery stores does not render as much fat. So I'm going to add just a drizzle of a good olive oil in because it helps it cook a little bit faster. Okay. Now you really see that flavor working out. You can see that, but you know how to do that. We want it a little bit browner, but for the economy of time, what we're going to do now is I'm going to now add my trinity in, which was, I used green onions, a little white onion, red, yellow, and green pepper, and celery. Okay, and so you see, it's our regular sauteing. Just saute, saute, saute. And the main thing is you want all of those flavors together to just marry and blend. I almost forgot my garlic. And as I said, these days I use a good jarred garlic. I get it from the Asian shop, minced garlic, because it's so fast. I get both. I use both, but this makes cooking so much easier. You do have to watch the expiration date, but that's just about it. And it makes life simple. Okay? So here we go, here we go, here we go now. I'm going to turn it back up a little because I had turned it down because I did not want to smoke up my kitchen. Because I don't know about you in the States, but here I live on the top floor and I have like one, well, actually, I'm really blessed here in Berlin because I have like a little floor to myself almost, or half a floor to myself here. And this is the kitchen in the front area. They're both kitchen islands, which was the architecture of the time frame when I moved into this building or got the apartment, moved into this apartment many, many years ago. This is an old Berlin 5-story walk up. What we would call it is a loft, New York loft from the 70s and the 80s, like real Warhol. Real Andy Warhol, when those things were hip. But it's like, this is the little front kitchen. There's another kitchen in the back, but there's not as much light. So we cook here. Okay. Now, what I'm going to go ahead and do is I am going to, oh, I didn't show you my shrimp. Look at those lovely shrimp. I like to get the big jumbo ones if I'm going to do this. And I keep the shell on because you want to keep the shell on for flavor. Excuse my nails, but we're still in lockdown here in Berlin. This is driving me nuts. I cannot get my nails did. A girl is upset about this. I have to explain. Okay, but anyway, I like to get the shrimp that is already split, deveined, so that all of it's clear that that vein is gone, and that the shell left, because that's where all the flavor comes from, is that shell. Okay, that's what I like. Some people like to not have the shell on the seafood, but you're losing a lot of the flavor from what I'm told. We're cooking this trinity with the rendered pork. I'm going to turn it up just a little bit more. And I'm going to now, let's see. I want this pork just to get a little bit browner. Okay. Which it will. And what I'm going to do now is I'm going to get our seasonings together. I use Kräuter au Provence. Kräuter au Provence. In German, that is, but it's in French it is a mixture of dried herbs. It's really beautiful. If you provincial herbs is what we would call it in English. And let's see what we got going on here. Let me be literal if I can. Uh-oh, it has thyme, it has rosemary, it has marjoram, it has basil, and oregano in it. So when you use this is one of the smartest things that you can get. Go and get a good one. This I get from the local store because here, well, now at home there's Aldi's and there's all of these stores here, but here in Europe, you can get, just like you can get wine and you can get cheese at the gas station that is really good, very good, very, very good quality. You can get spices at the local dollar store that are really good, or the local grocery store that is not the most expensive store. And it's really, really good. So, but this is one I would suggest that you get. Provincial herbs, okay? The other spice that we're going to use, of course, is some cayenne. We're going to need that. I like to use a mixture of like 3 peppers. I know you're like, that's a bit overkill for some people, but you're gentle with it. And each pepper brings its own accent, okay? So the just to get a peppery, a light peppery taste is the white pepper, but you have to be very careful with white pepper because it will it'll betray you. You think you're going into something that's nice and easy and gentle, but it'll bite you because it has a bite to it. But I like it very much, especially in Asian cuisines, but it also tastes really good, I see, with seafood. The regular black pepper, which I just gotta have my black pepper, being a southerner or coming from southern roots. What we have here is granulated garlic. That's not a big deal. And I have some extra dry basil. That's not a big deal. But what I really love and would share with you, it doesn't matter if it's this Cajun season, what I would use at home, and we were trying to order it online, and at this point it's out of it's sold out on my American online products site that I looked at. It's my regular Old Bay seasoning. But I was really fortunate because my neighborhood store, Karlstadt, in their Feinkost, which is, Karlstadt is the name of the grocery store, and Feinkost just means the finer products in German. And I go there when I need international products like Cajun seasoning. And I was lucky because we used this last week when we were filming the jambalaya. And we were amazed at how good it tasted. It was excellent. Then I sprinkled it on some seafood the other day when I was steaming some of these shrimp. When I first opened this bag of shrimp, I got this frozen shrimp. Usually I go to the Asian shop that's across the street from my house, but I went to the Spanish shop. Yeah, they're like, she got the Spanish shop for this. She got the Asian shop for this. She goes to the German shop. And then the American section. And that's international, y'all. That's the benefits of this stuff is all of this stuff. Well, it originated with my mother teaching me a lot of this stuff because of my dad being military. My father is a retired lieutenant colonel, and we moved all the time. So my mom met people already when she was in her 20s. She was already in Germany, and I was born in Nuremberg Krankenhaus. Ich heiße Siglinde. Okay, my name is Siglinde. which is a character from German folklore and from a Wagner opera. And my mom, she got my name from a newspaper. She didn't know a lot about, she had a beautiful soprano, and she spoke very good German with no accent, which is not my talent at all. The singing, yes. The German, not. But she lived on the economy. She and my dad, they lived on the economy. They lived in a German building. They didn't live on the post. So my mom learned a whole lot of German recipes from her neighbors and from friends that she made during the 3 to 4 years she was here. And I was born here. So my international flair comes from Ernestine Davis, my mama, my beautiful mama. Right now, we're just about finished with sauteing down the trinity and the pork. What I'm going to do is I'm going to go in with the spices. I'm heavy-handed with the chili. First, I'm going to do the chili. Then I'm going to do like this much. That's about the size of a quarter, I guess. Right in. Then I am going to do the pepper. This is to taste, y'all. It's to taste. It's to taste. It's to taste. It's how you like it and how you feel about it. I'm going to put some white pepper. Be careful. It'll betray you. Like I said, you think it's all easy. And I put granulated garlic and the wet garlic. And I just remembered something. Just a minute. Oh, Lord. No. I'm a bouillon queen. Some people don't like bouillon. They don't do bouillon too much, but I do. I really like it for seasoning. I should do advertising for Knorr's. I am going to use a bouillon, these soft bouillons. I do not like those hard, cakey bouillons. That's not happening. It's not cool. And since there's already pork already in there, there's other salt in there, I'm just using half of one. And then I'm just going to move that around. Okay. And incorporate half of that bouillon into, now we really rendered it now. This is how you want it to look. Uh-oh. Okay. And now I'm going to do more damage because I'm getting ready to get real here. I'm going to put a slab of butter. A tab of butter. I'm being bad today. But it's Valentine's Day. It's the day of love. I'm allowed. Okay? And you see the butter start to melt into the mixture, and you let it, you see that? Oh, that's starting to look kind of good. And the thing about these recipes is you have to realize that everybody does their thing differently. I learned this with my father and my stepmom, Carolyn, because they live in South Carolina, and we were down, Carolyn was from South Carolina, and we were down visiting, and they had low country cuisine when we were in Charleston. And I love crabs and really enjoyed the dishes. And so I wanted to find out. Did you hear my little sneeze? It's just a little, no, nothing's wrong. Don't try it. I know, I keep doing that with my whole family. Anytime somebody, did you just sneeze? And they're like, Siggy, Linda, stop doing that. No, but anyway, the pepper got me. I'm going to put an Cajun seasoning now. And I'm heavy with that. I'm heavy because we're going to put some more too. And I'm just going to, oh, did you hear that squeak? Now, take a look at this now. You know, this is really happening. You have the richness of all of the spices there, like this. Now, how I do mine is sort of roux-esque, okay? Which means I'm going to take a little bit of flour and sprinkle the flour, on top of the bacon mixture, like so. And let it brown. Oh, I can turn this down low. Like so. It's going to get a little bit thick. A little bit thickens, a little bit thickens. The last thing that we add is our shrimp because you don't want the shrimp to get tough. So, oh, I forgot another thing. Excuse me. Okay. To have my water supply. So dig what you have in here. You got your trinity, you got your rendered pork, you got some flour, you got all of your seasoning, you got butter, and you got olive oil. And you've made almost like a roux with, which is just a flour mixture, a wet flour mix, flavored flour mixture. You got this all worked in together. It's all married. It's all ready to walk down the aisle. And then what we do is we are going to pour in our water. And what's going to happen is it's going to thicken. Like so. Okay? Let it just sit. And there you have the basis for your shrimp and grits. But all we need now is to add our beautiful shrimp. So now we are just going to do this. We are going to add all these girls in. Let me see. This garlic got me going. Okay, I put a little bit more water in. So if you take one good look at this. Okay, I've got ice on my shrimp. That doesn't matter. Okay. So anyway, this is what your shrimp and grits is going to look like. Well, not grits yet. But this is the shrimp. This is the way the shrimp will look. And what I'm going to do is I am going to add a little bit more seasoning. I personally probably would put just a little bit more seasoning over here. I'm going to keep adding. I am also going to add just a touch. You could now put some brandy in here if you want to. Some white wine in there. Okay, I just put a little bit of cream. Yes, cream also with the butter, with the pork. If you're going to do this, let's do it, y'all. It's love day. Alrighty. So anyway, you see it's already turning pink. This is what it's going to kind of look like. And I'm going to put the last of the shrimp in just because. I forgot to tell you, I got these shrimp at not my Asian store, but at my Spanish store. And the seafood comes from Spain. I got a big bag about this big. I forgot how many ounces it is. And it was on special. And I treated myself to that. So I had this in my freezer. And that's why I wanted to share this with you. So one last look before we put the top on. Okay. So she will need about only 10 minutes. As soon as the shrimp turns pink. Let me get my nails out of the way. As soon as the shrimp turns pink, she's ready to be served up with our grits. And our grits are going to be... Okay, so we have one more step before we assemble. And remember, it's only going to take you an hour to do all of this. That cake is going to be whipped up in a half hour. And the shrimp and grits really takes no time with all the shrimp. You just need to make a little bit of that roux and put your fresh shrimp on. Your shrimp, according to the size, they're not going to take more than like 5 minutes or so. We'll get back to that when we assemble. But right now, we're going to do my Siggy's famous grits. Grütze. Yuda was laughing because she said it sounded like grütze, but it is essentially the same thing. Very simple. It's like a mealy meal, a semolina, not fufu, but it's in the direction of polenta. And since we are here with international ingredients, I could have gone online. Once again, getting things online right now is not as easy as it was before. So I could get my regular grits, my Quaker grits. But I didn't even see them on order. And they're about $10 a canister. But I will do that for y'all. But I'm going to give you a recipe for what I made as a substitute for the last 30 years when I couldn't get my real grits. I take a good yellow polenta, boiling water. I'm going to use the other half of that cube, that bouillon cube, chicken bouillon, just a little bit of chicken bouillon, and put it into the water. Okay. I'm also going to put a little bit of butter into the water. So there's a butter base. I'm going to also put some cream, some condensed milk or cream into the water. So it's like a soup, a creamy soup that I'm making as the base. And I just take a little tad, not too much, but just a little smidgen of sea salt. Just a little to kick that flavor up. And now I'm turning my water up. And that bouillon was cooking and it's making a little, giving just a hint, not too much, because you got to watch your sodium. So it's just half. I use a lot of half blocks of my seasoning and put a little drop of some fleur de sel in. Okay? So now we're ready, and we're going to put in about a cup of polenta. And this is a fine polenta, and it tends to cook up in about 15 to 20 minutes. You can also take your polenta, you can oil a baking dish and put it into the oven. You can use hot water in a bowl and make your polenta and bake it and put cheese in it and put cheese, as a matter of fact, over it like a casserole. And what we're going to do right now is I'm putting a little bit more in because I want it thick. Now, what makes it so special, besides that I use a chicken-based or vegetable-based bouillon, and cream, and butter, and a little sea salt, and some herbs or whatever fresh herbs that I have, is that after this boils and it thickens just a little bit, not yet, but after it has really disintegrated the polenta in, I am going to add Gouda cheese. I love my Gouda at home. We say Gouda cheese. Some mozzarella cheese, and Parmesan cheese is absolutely lovely, of course, with polenta or any grits type product like this. It's really good. So what we are going to do now is the very last step of our beautiful Valentine's Day 2021. We are going to plate up, lay out a beautiful table with all of our ingredients of this 1 hour meal for Love Day. And we're going to come back and share it with you. So I'm going to just keep stirring my polenta for about 15 minutes. Put in a handful of cheese to taste. Stretch it with a little bit of cream if necessary. And put it in a bowl with some of our shrimp and grits. And be right back for you. So we are back. All right, our Valentine's Day meal is ready. And what we have right here is, of course, our low country shrimp and grits. We finished off the polenta. Once it had boiled up very soft and nicely, I folded in a little bit more cream and I put in a handful of Gouda cheese, Parmesan cheese, mozzarella cheese, cheddar cheese, whatever you have in the house will do. Whip it up, fold it over, plate it up. We put a little confetti, Mardi Gras confetti of green onions, a little bit more of the Trinity, just to give it a little effect. Our shrimp are really succulent. They're really cooked through, but not overly. It's very important that you do not overly cook your shrimp. Once it turns pink, you give it, when they're this large, I would give it like 3 more minutes. And when in question, take one out, cut it open, and make sure, just one, and make sure it is the consistency and the wellness that you need it to be. The sauce is just like heavenly with that Cajun seasoning. And we have here the real highlight for me, which is this butter apple cake. And it has my mom's caramel, homemade childhood caramel on it. And remember to, in the box below, please say to us, give us ideas of what name you would give that cake. We embellished it a little bit with some berries. And I would serve all of this with a really nice aqua fresca. A refreshing non-alcoholic beverage for me, but for anybody else, champagne or good white wine. We go beautiful, crisp white wine, a frascati or a Chardonnay, because we're dealing with the seafood, would be really, really nice. But if you really want to go all out, get yourself a real champagne. You all, this day is for you. This presentation is for you. Once again, this is the project from the heart. All we ask that you please do is like, share, and subscribe. Just hit the subscribe button and you'll be helping us a lot. So I just want to send a big heartfelt hello Shout out to everybody out there in the world, my friends and my family, all of our supporters here at the Quality of Life channel. As we march on into this new year, be blessed in all that you do and stick with us. We'll be back and bringing you things from all over the place. Interviews, recipes, things that may have been of interest to you. And keep in mind, this is for you. When you subscribe, all you're doing is supporting the platform itself. We do this out of love. So I love y'all. Happy Valentine's Day, wherever you are in the world. May God bless you. We got nothing but love for you all over the world. Peace. We're out.